Hello everyone. Good afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's Lisa with Crafting and Cruising. And I am solo today. Rodney is on a business trip. So when you hop on, please say hi. And if you're watching the replay, please hashtag replay so I can say hi to you. Hey, my sister Shelly. How are you, sister? Day. Howdy. Today is a no makeup day for Lisa and a horrible, hey Missy, hair day because I have a migraine I've had for 3 days. So I'm fighting. Hey, Louise. So we are going to make something cool, I think. And then maybe Thursday we will make a companion piece to it. Y'all know I'm kind of all into the old stuff now. I wish I had been into that when my grandmother was around because we got rid of so much milk glass and carnival glass and old stuff I wish we had now. You're so sweet, Shelly. Thank you. I do. When I look in the mirror without makeup, I'm like, oh, don't do that, Lisa. Don't do that to them. But I took the 3 of the grandchildren swimming today at my sister's pool and sat out in the sun, and that was about all I could do. Hey, Melissa. Welcome. So, you guys, I'm mixing up some watered down, I didn't turn my camera, Waverly chalk paint and plaster with just a little bit of Deco Art Americana bittersweet chocolate. I used this the other day too. The reason I'm mixing them is because we're going to crackle again, but we're going to crackle over old newsprint. And I want it to not be stark white. We'll have to use wax at the end to make the lines really show up, and we're going to pray the lines show up. But I think just to have something more creamy instead of so white really is going to give us a better look. So here's what we're going to do. I found this at a thrift store, and it is an old paper towel holder. Wood paper towel holder. Y'all remember these? We used to have them. I remember them. I took the screws out of the back, so they're right here. So what I'm thinking is I have this old, I actually have several old magazines and newsprint. I don't want you to see the front of that yet, but let me get in here. For example, see how yellow the pages are? Well, my thought is to cover pretty much this whole thing, not this part, this whole thing in pieces, decoupage. After we paint it, then we are going to put pieces of the newsprint on here. Then we're going to put a clear coat. Then we're going to crackle and hopefully be able to see through the crackle. Hey, Esther. To see, you know, still the newsprint. And then I was thinking about just crackling this because it's going to basically be covered up. Let me show you. It's going to be covered up with the paper towel roll. So if we crackle the wood with the newsprint on it, it'll still look cool. Then, when I went to Oklahoma and saw Mary White and Chris Hunter, we went to this cool antique store called Dead Man Stuff or Dead Person Stuff. And I picked up a lot of little things like this. So I thought it would be cool to kind of make this look rusty and go here on the back just for interest. No, not any big deal. Hey, Carol. And then I just now thought maybe, I don't have Would You Bend, but I have some Formflex pieces that I've made. So I thought about putting Formflex pieces across the back that we can paint or stain so that it would cover up just that flat surface. And then I could also bring it, and I can make some more tonight once you guys help me choose which one we're going to do. Then we can bring it down these sides like this. Again, just to give it interest, some 3D interest. So I have this one, which is number 1. Let me hold it up close so you can see it. I have this one, which is thinner, so it wouldn't cover the whole sides, the whole pieces, which is okay because the crackle will still show. So this is number 2. This is number 3. Again, it's a narrow one. So we have 1, which will cover not only this flat back part, but it's thicker to go down here over the edge. Or we have number 2. Have number 3. So I need you all to vote because I'm going to be making some more. 1, 2, or 3. Let me know what you think. Let me see some numbers popping up there. 1, 2, or 3. 3, Shelly says. The thin one. The second thin one. Okay. Keep as much caffeine in me to see if I can help with this headache. Shelly said 3. Louise said 1, the wider one. I'm sure somebody's going to say 2, and then we'll have a 3-way tie. Kathy, we're voting on which Formflex. Oh, she already said. She said 1. Missy says 2 or 3, the thin ones. Tiebreaker. 1, 2, or 3. Somebody keep a track of it for me. And if, Shelly, if you can, will you share this video to my, oh, you can't do that. Never mind. If somebody comes on from Creative Friends in the Box, hashtag FitBee, will you please share this video for me? I don't have my tablet out here or my computer to do it. So I'm going to get started painting with this beige. And it's kind of a weird color because plaster itself is not solid white. But I put this bittersweet chocolate in just because y'all saw the other day when I was using, even the plaster can look really stark white. And I'm not a stark white girl. So, anywho, we have been keeping the girls busy. I've been keeping the girls busy. My sister and her husband have a pool. And the girls had been wanting to go swimming. So, and this is the craziest thing about it. This will show you how bad my head was hurting. The other night, the grandchildren said, one of the grandchildren said, Lolly, can we go swimming? She said, is there any place we can go swimming? And I said, well, we could go to the Y, but I'm not a member of the Y, so that won't work. And I sat down, you guys, and I made a post to put on Facebook to see if anybody in my area had a pool. And before I hit send, I said, oh my goodness. My sister has a pool and she lives 10 minutes away. Crazy. So I called her or texted her and I said, would you mind if I brought the girls over there to swim tomorrow or Wednesday? And she said, no, I'm in Aruba with my kids. My husband will be there working, so just let him know so he can make sure the dogs are put up. And so that's what we did today. We packed a lunch and went to the pool and then came home. And my youngest granddaughter that you all met recently, Brianna, who was on a live with me, she decided today that she wanted to do a spa. My daughter, not her mother, but my other daughter, is the manager at Spavia here in Nashville, in Bellevue. And she's also a licensed esthetician, so if anybody's ever this way and you want to get a facial or massage at the place, let me know. So anyway, Brianna decided last night that she wanted to do a spa today, and she was going to call it Spavia, just like where her aunt works, but she was going to set it up in my living room. And she really needed 2 spots, so she found 2 chairs that she could kind of put apart, but she really wanted a wall between them. Hey, Jan, but we didn't have a wall between them, so we decided to use the dining room table as a divider. And then she took all of the overstuffed pillows off of my couch in the den and made little, like, cubby areas with the pillows. And then today she wanted to know, could she use my computer? She'd already made a sign that said Spavia, but she needed a computer to put everybody's name in. And so first she had written them all down. I had told her how to spell everybody's name, and she had written them all down. But then her sister told her, you know, you really need to put this in a computer. So she decided, yeah, you're probably right. I do need a computer. So she said, Lolly, can I use your computer? Which, of course, is a MacBook. And so I said, if you will leave it sitting on the table and not, you know, jerk it around, you can. So I had to open a Word document for her so she could spell out everybody's name. And she was expecting real money, don't you know? She told everybody she wanted real money. So I was going to go last because I was going to do my live. And then when I saw the time and I saw she was just getting ready, I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll be first. And then I can go on and, you know, be done, and I can go out and do my live. So I guess I set a bad example for everybody else, a precedent for everybody else, because she told me, she said, now, and she just doesn't understand this part. She said, now, 10 minutes is $2. 20 minutes is free. And so I said, hey, Veronica, thank you so much. I said, well, if 20 minutes is free, then I want the free one. And she said, well, you have to buy something with real money, and then you can get the 20-minute add-on. So I got the 10 minutes for $2, and then I decided to just be a big tipper and tip her $3. So I gave her a $5 bill, and y'all, she thought she died and gone to heaven. She was so excited. So when I came out here to do my live, my daughter, the one that is the spa manager, was going next, but she had 2 silver bowls of warm water. So she was also going to do her sister's at the same time. I don't know how she was going to give them a massage at the same time, but anyway, and then my daughter's, one of her daughters was going to go next. And then I guess when the other one gets home from working at Spavia today, maybe, you know, she will get hers. So last night when Brianna and I were laying down, getting ready to go to bed, and we were saying prayers, and she just goes, I'm so excited about my spa. I mean, this is going to be the best day of my life. I'm so excited. First thing she said when she woke up this morning is, yes, today is the day of my spa. I can't wait. She is really serious. And she told me while we were at the pool, she goes, Lolly, this will be, oh, I forgot to do the outside. She said, this will be my first job from home. It's so cute. I absolutely love her imagination. And I hope she keeps it forever and ever. Amen. Because it's just the cutest thing to watch. She will play by herself for long periods of time. I don't really remember. Well, I think my son actually did play by himself a lot. And he dressed up in costume all the time. You know, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. So I think he did play a lot by himself, but I don't remember the girls. Maybe they did. Maybe they went through a stage. But she is all into it, man. She's all into the spa deal. So anyway, I guess they're in there having their spa day, and tomorrow I've got to return some stuff to TJ Maxx and Walmart. So unless they want to run errands, they'll just have to stay here with their aunt. And I think I told you all that my daughter and her 2 daughters got a new puppy. Whew. It is like raising a baby. Mm-hmm. He gets so wound up when he has to go in his cage. He does not, in his kennel, it's not a cage, it's a kennel. He does not like it. They have to cover his kennel with a blanket just so he won't yelp. I mean, his cry is just, you know, one of those that you want to just have a regular dog cry. So my daughter and one of her daughters have been sleeping downstairs at night with him to try to get him used to his kennel. And then, you know, they have to get him up periodically and take him outside. They're trying to potty train him at the same time. And he loves my dog, Lily Grace. He does not love their other dog, Chubby. Chubby's old, and he's kind of a grumpy old man. So, you know, he doesn't like the little puppy either. But he loves my Lily Grace, who is a Pug Zoo. So she's, you know, I guess you'd call her a medium-sized dog. They are so much work, Louise. Whew. It truly is like having a baby, a newborn infant. And my Lily Grace does not, I mean, she'll play with him for a few minutes, and then she gets fed up, and and the puppy goes up and bites on Lily Grace. Again, he's a puppy. That's just, you know, what puppies do. But Lily's not used to that, and so she will allow it for just a little while, and then she bites him back. And when she does, it usually puts him in his place, and he'll calm down and go, you know, halfway hide under one of the chairs, and the next thing you know, he's sound asleep. When we were in the Dominican, Kaya had gotten this big beach ball, and she brought it home from the Dominican, and that thing has been rolling around in the floor, and the little dog, whose name is Coda, I should call him by his name is Coda. I guess he thinks it's a real thing, because when he sees it just start to roll, he barks and barks and barks and runs up to it and hits it with his nose, and then it moves, and he barks and barks and barks. Maybe I should say yelps and yelps and yelps. He goes crazy over that ball. So I really think he thinks, you know, this is like another puppy dog or something that I got to go after. And he will probably, and he'll end up being a lot bigger than Lily. He's part Blue Heeler and part Australian Shepherd, maybe? I don't know. He's real white and got a few little black places on him. I'm just drying the second coat before we start putting the newsprint on. I forgot to show you the second part of this that I hope to do on Thursday. So as soon as I get this dry, I'll show you, because I'm taking most of the paper from the magazine that I'm going to put on the second part. Hey, Diana Duncan, how are you? I'm so glad y'all are here. Thank you for coming on with me. It'll hopefully help my headache feel better. I haven't had a migraine like this in a long time. I have a headache almost every day, but it's from poor posture and having degenerative disc disease and things like that. But this one is more a migraine, and it's just been hanging around for a long time, and I don't like it. And especially not when I have younger children that I need to, you know, keep an eye on, and I don't get to see all that often, so I want to enjoy the time I have with them. Okay, so this really didn't end up being like a tan as much as it did kind of a grayish, but that's okay, because the paper that we're going to put over it, decoupage over it, is going to cover it up anyway. But that's what will hopefully shine through when we crackle it, and then I'm going to use the wax on it to kind of darken it up. Okay, so here's the other part. I also got this at a garage sale, or not a garage sale, a thrift store. I think it's like a black board. But let me show you this. I'm thinking about putting on the front of it and then zhuzhing it up. Are you ready? Isn't that so cool? With some bling around here and some bling in her crown and some stickles on her lips. Do bling all around here. I don't know if I'll crackle her or not. I haven't decided. But I think that's gonna, these two would be such a cool couple of pieces to put in a man cave kitchen, to put in an old farmhouse kitchen, to put in a cabin in the mountains kitchen. So much you could do with it. So I'm excited about doing that companion piece. And then y'all, Christmas in July is coming up, and if you know me very well, you know Christmas is my jam. I would have it all year round, even though I'm sure I wouldn't appreciate it very much. So, look at this. Patsy Cline. So, I am going to, and I need y'all to try to hold me to it. This doesn't have a whole lot of writing, black and white writing. Let's look at this piece. This is a Harper's Weekly. Y'all, this is from Saturday, January 29th, 1898. 10 cents a copy, $4 a year. Isn't that awesome? So I think in here are some darker pages. Anyway, this is what I'm thinking. I want to go live every day in July, 30 days straight, or 31 days, however many days there are there. Because I want to try to build my page, number one. Number two, it's going to be Christmas in July. So by doing that, I'll be able to do a lot of Christmas things. It won't be totally Christmas, but I'll be able to do a whole lot of Christmas things, which I'm excited about. I'll probably do some fall things too. And I won't necessarily be live doing a craft, but I will be live. Hey, Paula. I will be live every day doing something. So you guys, I need you guys to hold me to that. It'll be real easy for me not to do it, and I need to do it. So please try to hold me to it. And please, if you know of places that you can share me out, groups you can share me to. If you hear of any events coming up, I would love to take place in some more events. I'll be doing quite a bit, I think, in July with the Crafty Bunch. But I would love to get involved in some other events too. So if y'all hear about any, would you just PM me or call me or text me or something and let me know, so that I can look into those, because I would love to really try to spend this time building my page. All right, so what we're going to do, we are going to start tearing off pieces of this, and we're going to go on and put down our Deb's Design Diary DIY Liquid Patina. I got this from Mara. I know, those picture books are awesome. And like I said, the back will be up against a wall, so I'm not going to worry about the back. Though, you know me, I'll probably go back and paint the back of it. But, trying to get this off. Shelly Stacklin, if you're still on here, would you look back through the comments for me, please, and see, oh my goodness, whether we got more 1s, 2s, or 3s for the Formflex to put on here, which I won't be able to do today because I got to get them all made. I think I need to put some, I've got some Vaseline. I just need to take this off and clean that top real good and put some Vaseline around it. Okay, so here we go. Let me get a brush, a clean brush. I was talking to Mara today. Mara said make sure you use clean brushes. Y'all, look at this little gnome I made last year for number one. Okay, for thank you, Shelly. I made for 4th of July. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to tear. I don't want any straight edges, so So I'm gonna, it's a good thing I swept in here before I started, because I'm gonna have paper all over everywhere. And I think I'm gonna start down here. Can y'all see? And I'm just gonna put some of the liquid patina, work kind of in sections. And I'll probably go on and put it down over the sides too, because I would rather do all that at the same time. Not that it's going to necessarily look more cohesive, because it's not with these pieces, but I would just rather go on and wrap them as I go. So see, for example, I'm going to put this one here, and then I'm going to just put it over the edge, and then I can go back and add more paper as needed. So I think at least if we can get this front part done, then I can finish off camera if anybody needs to go and doesn't want to stay on. But I want to at least get this part done so I can kind of show y'all what I'm thinking is going to work on this. I hope it is. Because I contacted Mara and asked her about putting the, if I needed to put a top coat on, and she said yes. And just ask her kind of the process, because I wanted to make sure I was going to get it right. Overlap some, and that's totally fine too. What have y'all been doing today? You may making any vacation plans or 4th of July plans, or Shelly, has the weather forecast changed any in Chagrin Falls for the better? Because we still haven't made up our mind what we're going to do. If you all like what you see and would throw up some hearts or emojis, it would help me a lot, and I would be so grateful. I've been gone for so long on vacation and then helping take care of the grandchildren that I think my page is kind of suffering. Let me see if I can pull this one kind of over. I'm not worried about, you know, whether things, you can read it or not, because who's going to stand here and read this paper? Although I was tempted when I got the magazine to, I did look through and read some of the stuff about Joan Collins and stuff. It was pretty interesting. So, what are y'all going to do for the 4th? Y'all know Nashville is one of the biggest 4th of July fireworks shows in the country. It's usually televised. So, hope y'all, can y'all see this? This paper is so thin, you guys. It's got that old smell, you know, which I love. I love that old smell. Reminds me of being at my grandmother's. You could even use this if you wanted to, like in a bathroom, in a craft room. It wouldn't have to be like in a farmhouse or a man cave. That's just the first thing that came to mind when I looked at it, was a farmhouse or a man cave. On his way back from High Point, North Carolina is where he was working today. Oh, that's 2 pieces. Where he was working today. I went there with him once. I think High Point, if I'm not mistaken, is the furniture capital. A lot of furniture companies there. Anybody live near High Point? Wrong. Hey, Mary Lee, how are you, sister? Did I tell you, have I been on here to tell y'all about what happened the first day we went to the Amish country? I can't remember if I have or not. I feel like I did, so I don't want to repeat it, but then another part of me says I didn't. I'm staying home on the 4th and watching Tucson Country Club. Oh, cool. You can see it from your back patio. That's awesome. That is awesome. sometimes see some in a couple of the subdivisions around us, but not, we have so many trees, it's hard to really see them well. And our dogs get so scared. Y'all, one time I had a bull mastiff that I had actually gotten. Some friends of, I think I told y'all this, some friends of ours were gonna, not friends of ours, but they were people that we knew. My son had gone to school with their son, and he was tragically killed in a skateboard accident. And so his older brother had this beautiful female bull mastiff, full-blooded, and I think it was when I was en route to Africa one of the times that I went, that I saw that Donna, his mother, had made a post that they were going to need to get rid of Raja, the bull mastiff, because the brother that owned him had moved, and I don't know, there were some other things going on, and so they were going to need to get rid of her. But they didn't want to just give her to anybody. I mean, they weren't selling her. They were just going to give her away. And so I had always wanted a big dog. We live in an area that's very secluded. So I've always wanted a big dog that would be like a guard dog. And I thought, well, you can't get a better guard dog than a bull mastiff. And so I texted Donna and I said, you know, I'm en route to Uganda, and I won't be back for a couple of weeks, but we would love to take Raja. And by we, I meant me, because I kind of did it behind Rodney's back. And so she said that was fine, just to let her know when I got back. So I got back, and there was a girl that was taking care of her, that had her at her house for a little bit. And so I called her and let her know that I was back and I was ready for Raja to, you know, come to our house. And she brought her over, and you could tell the poor girl was just so sad. In fact, she said to me, if you decide that you can't keep her, please let me know, because I love her so much. And, you know, I would love to have her. And probably if Rodney had heard that or known that, he probably would have said give her to her, but I didn't. And so she was very skittish with us for a little while. She you know, this wasn't her home. She didn't know us. She didn't know my Lily Grace, my other dog, who's a pug zoo. Like I said, she's kind of a medium-sized dog, and yet Raja was about 4 times bigger than her. So you would think if anybody would be afraid of anybody, it would be Lily being afraid of her. But, you know, she finally got used to us. And, but believe it or not, she was the follower. Lily Grace, when they would go outside, if Lily Grace went up the driveway, Raja went up the driveway. And Lily knew she wasn't supposed to go up there. But if she went, Raja would go. If she didn't, Raja wouldn't go. So here's this bull mastiff following this little punky, squatty dog around, doing whatever she did. And I said, you are a bad influence, girl. I can't believe you're doing this to the dog. And so one year during, I guess it was the 4th, I don't really remember. And Raja was an inside dog. I mean, she stayed outside some, she and Lily both, but they were considered inside dogs. She slept inside every night. And so one night during fireworks, I guess we just let Raja out to go to the bathroom, and she never came home. And we called and drove around the neighborhood and could not find that dog anywhere. And I could hardly sleep that night. I was so upset and so worried about her, because I knew it was probably the fireworks that had spooked her. See, I'm just doing it very basic. Fortunately, we had her microchipped. And so the next day, my veterinarian's office called and said, Miss Seiler, are you missing a bull mastiff? And I said, I surely am. And she said, well, your neighbor down the street found her. Hey, Candace. found her in her barn. She had gone, I don't know, quarter of a mile or so down the street and found, I guess, a barn door open and had gone in there scared to death. She said when she found her, she was so scared. So she kept her until the next morning, and then she happened to take her to our vet, which was pretty cool. And they, you know, ran her chip and found out who she belonged to. And so we got her back. And so, you know, that just made me even more a believer in microchipping your animals, because I would have never thought to go down there. She'd never been that far. I mean, we have woods all around us, so I suspect she went through the woods, but I don't think she'd ever been that far, and it just scared me to death. But it was the fireworks. She just, and most dogs are that way. You know, my vet said most dogs are petrified of fireworks, so you really have to keep an eye on your little fur babies when 4th of July or Memorial Day, Labor Day, all those come, New Year's Eve, when they start shooting fireworks. Some dogs apparently are not bothered by them. I heard somebody the other day say they've never bothered my dog, but most dogs I've ever known of, they bothered. And I don't care if you get one of those weighted blankets or give them medicine or whatever. Apparently they still are very afraid. Hey, Candace, I want to tell you something. I am trying to join the group that you've been taking your lessons from, and I had an opportunity to join the drawing group. I have not joined it. I think I want to wait till one of the other one opens up, but yeah, I love what you've been doing, so I hope I can get into that class. She looks amazing. And y'all, I keep saying this. This is not going to stick. I keep saying this, but I am going to do watercolor again. Shell Bell. Y'all are so cute. Shell Bell. Answer me about the weather forecaster. If you did, I didn't see it. What's the status? Has it gotten better, worse for the first? What is the forecast? Asking me recently if I'd heard anything lately, and I said no. Definitely made up our minds yet. Candace is so talented. She is amazing. You just have to get in there and learn how to do it. It's kind of like watching paint dry, sorry. Calling for rain here on Saturday. But what's the percentage? Has it gone up or down? And what about, are you talking about Chagrin, or are you talking about where you are? Weather forecast for the 4th here. They do about the downtown fireworks if it rains on the 4th. I think they still do them. They do them at the riverfront, so you know they're doing them from the boat anyway. Oh, this stuff is not sticking. I may have to switch to. Let me switch over to some Mod Podge and see if that'll work any better. Let's see what Candace said. Came on her awesome art school because she is fun and talented and inspirational. She's not about perfectionism, which is how you can get better when you can do more things. Yes, exactly. I love that. All right, I'm just going to put Mod Podge on here. I'll go on and take my sanding block and sand that down, but where it's coming up, let me just put some Mod Podge down and see if that makes a difference. I did clean this piece before I even put the paint on it, and I thought the paint would help it grab, but I'm thinking the Deb's Design Diary may not be the best for this piece. 65% rain in Cleveland on Saturday. Okay. I never did see y'all's answer because I can't watch and chew gum at the same time. Walk and chew gum at the same time. Did I tell you all about the what happened with the first of molasses I bought from the Amish? Eat it, so tell me yes or no. Check yes or no. Much into old stuff lately, y'all. You would think, being old myself, I wouldn't want any more old stuff, but I've really been into the old antique stuff. I love it. I don't have a lot of it in my house, but I love it. I love seeing it in different places. This part done, we're going to go on, dry it, and do the crackle so y'all can see what the intent is, and then not have to stay on here unless you just want to, which is fine with me. You know I love that. Thing to tell. I love you. We took the grandchildren and went to Amish country, which I was going to try to get on live and show y'all some. However, these Amish are the old order Amish. So they do not believe in anything worldly, which would include cell phones, cameras. They don't want their picture made. They're very, very serious people. Basically, their three emphases, I guess you could say, in life are on God, family, and land. They have a deep respect for the land. They grow most everything they eat. They raise cattle, goats, chickens. You know, they harvest everything. They do everything. No electricity, no running water. The children go to school in a one-room schoolhouse, all of them, only till 8th grade. At 8th grade, they stop school and they start working. They actually start working when they're young. The Amish are very big on working. And so they don't really arrange marriages, but they expect you to marry someone from within the Amish community that they're in. So of course you've known the, you know, you grow up with these people, you know them all your life. So here comes my yard man, aka Carly's boyfriend. And so anyway, we went to the Welcome Center, and it was pretty interesting at the Welcome Center when we walked in, because there was a lot of things for sale that you would not expect to see in an Amish store at all. So I'm thinking that it must have been a place kind of like a thrift store where people could bring stuff and donate it. I never did ask, but I'm thinking that that's what it was, because there was some stuff in there you know darn good and well Amish people wouldn't tolerate or wouldn't want. But anyway, I think it was a way to make money for them. So anyway, we got this little map while we were there that showed us all around the different, small pool of DNA it is, showed us all around the little area. There's about 250 families that live there. And y'all, their houses, some of them look like normal houses. You just know that they have no electricity, no running water, and the things that we have come to expect and feel like we have to have, like cell phones and TVs and things like that. That's not them. And so when you've never known that, then I guess you don't miss it. the children run around barefoot most of the time. And so anyway, and their clothes are dirty and things like that. The girls wear long dresses. So anyway, I wanted to get some molasses. I was raised by a grandmother in the country who loved molasses. I loved molasses, and my daddy loved molasses. And so I wanted to get some molasses. And several of them sold molasses. So when you get this little map, it tells you which roads different families live on. And then when you go down that road and you find their house, then usually there's a sign out front that tells you what they have, whether it's jams, jellies, molasses, pickles, eggs, whatever they sell. It tells you there. And then when you drive up, many of them have like a lot of acres where they grow stuff. So it's like farmland. And so when you drive up, you know, normally you would see them out working. Well, apparently it was lunchtime the day that we went to this one house. And so when we drove up, Rodney goes, okay, well, there's a sign that says all the stuff. Okay, Esther, see you later. There's a sign that says all the stuff is on the porch, the front porch. And so Rodney goes, well, get out and go on over there. And y'all, I don't know why, but I was just like, I don't know, I felt not intimidated, just felt weird. And so, of course, I had on makeup and all that, and they don't wear makeup. So, anyway, I went over there, and as I walked by this screen in the window, Grandma always made molasses ginger. Oh, yum. I could see a bunch of people sitting in there, and that's when I figured out it's probably lunchtime for them. And so I walk up on the porch, and this girl, I guess a girl, it's hard to tell because, you know, they don't wear makeup, and it's just hard to tell anything about their ages or anything, but I'm saying she was probably around 15. And she came out in this kind of a bluish gray long dress, and she had a white apron on over it, and then she had a little white, one of the little Amish hats on over it, on her head, and very, very serious. So she came outside and just stood there, and so I said hello, and she kind of nodded my way, and I said, do y'all sell molasses? And she goes, yes, we do. Just like that, very stoic. Yes, we do. And so I looked down there, and I saw this quart jar of molasses, and it said $8 on it. And so I said, oh, okay. I said, do you all make the molasses? Yes, we do. Oh, okay. So I got some money out, and I gave her some money. And when I got ready to walk away, I said, well, thank you. Thank you. And I said, God bless you and you. And she walked back in the house. So get in the car and show the kids and Rodney what I got. So when we got back to the campsite that night, or that afternoon, I thought, you know what, I don't want to carry this molasses in the bus because it's just going to sit there, and I'm eventually going to take it in my house at home. So I'll just leave it in here. And so I left it in there in the front floorboard. And we got out the next day and went places and stuff, and it was down there rolling around. So then the next day, our group was going to go to an Amish home that they've been to before that sells a lot more stuff. And so I said, well, you know, let's go back with them just to let the kids see what all they have. And we didn't have anything better to do. So we decided to go with them. I opened my door in Rodney's truck, and that thing of molasses, with the exception of about that much, was all over the floorboard. And when I say all over, I'm not lying. It was like a pool of molasses in the floorboard. Disgusting, like deep. And the jar was not broken. The top was not off. So all we can figure is that maybe it expanded or something in the heat, in the sun coming in through the window. And maybe the top just loosened when it expanded or something. I don't understand anything about that. But here we are getting ready to go. And there is molasses 2 inches deep or more in the floor. We had some Totally Awesome. We had some paper towels. So I told Rodney, I said, great. Now the molasses is gone. Spent $8 on this molasses from the Amish, and now it's gone. It's all in the floorboard of your truck. So we all got busy and, you know, tried hard to get it all up. Of course, you know, stuff like that, sticky remains a lot of times. It's hard to ever get it totally up. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was just sick about it. So I thought, okay, so I paid $8 for something that I no longer going to be able to taste. So when I found out that the group was going to go back to another Amish place, I told Rodney, I said, well, I want to go and try to get some. I know, where's the bear when you need one? That's right. I said, I'm going to go back because I'm going to get some more molasses. So the place we went to that day was a lot bigger. The farm was bigger, and they had lots of, I forget what kind of bird houses. They're made out of gourds, big fat gourds that have a little hole in them. Maybe a martin or something like that. They had about 30 of those on a pole, like draped across. And the birds were just flying in and out of it. And then they had the same kind, I've heard them called condominiums, back in their garden for the same kind of bird. But when I went up to pay for my stuff, I asked the lady, okay, I'm going to dry this real quick, y'all, and then we're going to crackle it. I asked the lady, I said, what kind of birdhouses are those? And she told me, maybe starling. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, apparently they eat all of the bugs that come in and try to destroy their crops. And so that's why they had so many single houses and then like the barndominium looking thing. And so it was fascinating. They had just put out some fresh bread that was very warm. And so I got some of that. We still haven't eaten any of it. It's inside. But I'm going to try some of that tonight with some butter on it. And then they had made these chocolate chip cookies, and they were in a pack. And so I bought a pack of those. But my grandchildren, or at least one of them, ate one the other night, and she said they weren't real great. I haven't tried them yet. So I don't know what ingredient they leave out. Like maybe there's some kind of ingredient they don't believe in using or something. I don't know. She said they're not terrible. They just don't have a lot of flavor, and I'm not going to finish eating it. And she had it over some ice cream, so of course she was going to finish her ice cream. So I did get some peach preserves because I love peach, and they had made peach preserves. And I got, the girls each got a little beaded bracelet that I'm pretty sure the Amish children had made. And, oh, I got they called it a sweet red onion that's about this big, but the leaf on it, the stalk on it is huge. And but apparently they're very good, so I thought my daughter might want to cook something with that, so I got one of those and brought it home. We haven't used that either. But anyway, it was fun, and it was very educational for the children, and I think it was so good for them to learn how other parts of even our own society in this country live. Maybe no salt. It could be no salt. That could be. I don't know, Candace. But my granddaughter just was not a big fan. She said, no. She said, it's not terrible, but I don't love it. So I'm not going to finish it. Okay, let me try to, this is going to take forever. So I'm just going to do this front part with y'all, and then I'll finish it and show you once I get the Form Flex put on. Let me sand off these extra edges right here, just so it'll look a little more uniform. And then I'll do it back here. I think when we get the set completed, it's going to be really cool. And I'm super excited about Christmas in July, y'all. I've already got several ideas in mind of what I'm going to do. So I hope you all will try to come on as often as you can. I may even try to increase the number of days. well, in July, my goal is to go live every day. Like I said, I probably won't do a craft every day, but I'm going to try to most every day. Okay, so now I'm going to be using the fine line crinkle that I got from Vintage Retail Therapy, Maris Place. Hello, Youngoma, Retha Moore, Youngoma. Tell me how to pronounce your name and what your name is. Okay, so now we've got this part made. Now, thank you for all those floating hearts and things. I appreciate y'all. Okay, so this is a two-step process with the crackle. It's by Pent Art. Oh, first I got to put a clear coat on, y'all. Woo! Almost messed up. Almost messed up. Mira said make sure you put a clear coat on. Woo! I'm glad I caught that. Let me put some of the Deb's DIY design. That name is so long it gets me every time. Deb's Design Diary. What is it? Deb's Design Diary DIY Liquid Patina. I wish they could have come up with a little bit shorter name. For us old people that have to try to remember all that. Decided that we're going to use a #1 Form Flex. So I think what I may do too is finish some of this off camera, but I may come on camera tomorrow and try to actually finish it up and put the Form Flex on and get you guys to help me decide what color I want to paint the Form Flex. Okay, so this is 2 parts. The fine line crackle varnish. This is step 1. Ideally, you would put it on and let it dry naturally. We're not going to do that because we don't have that kind of time. And then step 2, you put on next. And then we're going to rub it. Once we get it all dried well, we're going to rub it with a dark wax to see if the color will come through. If y'all have any natural suggestions on how to get rid of a migraine, please let me know. I've taken enough medicine to kill a horse. And what should we do with this part? I know I said I'm going to paint it and crackle it, but is that all we should do? I don't think I'm going to put any Totally Dazzled on here because this is really not a Totally Dazzled kind of deal. I need to show y'all the fairy garden I made with my grandchild. I never found anything over the counter to touch my migraine. To me, either, Shirley. I will say, because I've been taking so much of my prescription migraine medicine, the other day, I think my body has built up an immunity to it. And the other day, I took Excedrin migraine. I'd already had some other stuff too, but I took it, Excedrin migraine, and it worked. But it was probably just the whole combination of all of the medicines I'd taken. But I don't want to complain, y'all. There's people that have it so much worse than I do. I hate to even complain. Brush every couple of years my migraine meds. What do you take, Shelly, for yours? Okay, I'm going to brush this on. I'm going to try not to go back in it too many times. I've heard that if you go over it too much, it doesn't do as well. Christmas events to be in. Since I love Christmas so much, that would be a really good event type for me to look into. All packs plus back to Botox injections. I've never heard of either of those medicines. I take butalbital. Used to take Relpax when it got really bad, till insurance decided not to pay for it anymore. And that was really absolutely a game changer for my headaches when I took Relpax. Relpax is in the same kind of family as Imitrex, but it's not Imitrex. Imitrex only works on a migraine if you get it at the outset of the headache. If the headache has already been there, Imitrex is not going to do any good and you're just wasting medicine taking it. Relpax, on the other hand, works anytime during a migraine. It's wonderful. The first 2 or 3 times I took it, I had no side effect. And this is not an exaggeration, you guys. Within 10 minutes max, and I really don't think it was even that long, my headache was gone. Hey, Patty, welcome. And for the longest time, the insurance that my husband's company had covered it. And then they stopped covering it because there was no generic for it. So Ronnie went to pick it up one time for me. I don't remember the exact numbers, y'all, but he called me from there and he said, Lisa, this medicine's like $700. And it was only for, I think, 10 pills. And I went, no. So we called the insurance company, and the insurance company said, well, the only way we'll cover it is if there is a generic for it, which at that time there wasn't. This has been a few years. And at that time there was no generic. So then I got a discount card, I think it was. Yeah. And where it said you would pay no more than $10. So Rodney went over there to get it, and they said, well, your insurance deductible is not met yet. So that's after your deductible is met. Then they supposedly came out with a generic. This like months later. So Rodney went over there one day. My doctor called in the generic, and Rodney went over there to pick it up one day, and it was going to cost more than the name brand Relpax was going to cost. The generic. And he just said, no way. And I said, you're absolutely right, no way. So ever since then, I haven't had Relpax. Then I found this, it wasn't Doctor on Demand, but it was something like Doctor on Demand, where you could pay, hey Sherry Walton, you could pay, I don't know, I think $30 a month. And it was mostly for people who had headaches. That's how I found out about it. And so the first month, I believe it was free, and then after that it was $30 a month. So I got on there and I filled out this questionnaire for this doctor, and it was asking all about the headaches. And I have lots of different kinds of headaches, y'all. I have stress headaches, tension headaches. I have, because I have degenerative disc disease, my neck is all jacked up, so a lot of my headaches are in my neck. I don't just have one kind of headache. And I don't have migraines often, but when I do, they sneak up on me, and they're cluster migraines, and they hang around for a while. And so, I found that doctor, and I filled out all this paperwork and had, online, and sent it to him. And then he sent me back, a note. Yes, you seem like a good candidate for, Relpax, and it will cost you, I think it was maybe, I don't know, $20 a month, $25 a month. And so I said, yes, please. And they send it to you in the mail. And so when they sent it to me, it was only 10 pills, which is fine because I don't take it that much, because I don't have an actual migraine that much. But when I got ready to the next month, when my my check statement came in, it showed that I had been charged like $30 for this doctor thing. And when I went back and read on the information about it, it said that, you know, the first month is free, and then after that, you have to pay like $30 a month, and that's the only way you can get your medication sent to you, is if you pay the $30 a month. Well, I didn't want to pay. He wanted to make sure he wasn't going to be interrupting me. I didn't want to pay $30 a month just to have a doctor write me a prescription for Relpax. That's ridiculous. And like I said, that's basically what it was for. It was for headaches. It wasn't for, he wasn't doing like, you know, regular treatment of anything else. And so I just, you know, I unsubscribed and let it go. So I still, fortunately, have a few of those Relpax left. My son gets bad headaches. His are not always migraine either, but there's been an occasion where he's commented, "Mom, is there any way I can get one of those Relpax for you? Because this one is not going away with anything else." And I hate that. Really, all my kids have my headaches. Hey, Laurel, my sweet sister, how are you? Thank you for those stars, you precious angel. I love you. Let me see what Shelly said. Imitrex never worked for me. The only thing about Relpax is you get $13 a month and cost over $900. Can't take daily either. They cause rebound migraines, right? That's what he told me too. But because I don't have migraines themselves that often, then I really did never have to worry about having rebound migraines because I didn't have them that often. Now, taking the butalbital that I take, which is generic for Esgic, I do build up, I think, a tolerance for that medicine, and as a result, after a while, it quits working. It just doesn't do anything for my headaches anymore. So that part I get, so I have to go off of it for a while, and I think that's kind of where I am now. I think I've had too much butalbital for too many months, and I think my body has just finally said, you know what, we're not going to get rid of your headache on this anymore. You're going to have to do something else. But like I said, most of mine aren't migraines, thank God. Praise God, I don't have migraines that often. I just have a headache nearly every day. But when I do get one, they hang around for weeks usually. And then they go away, and I don't have them again. So, Relpax has been around for so long, I cannot understand what it is in that medicine that supposedly is so powerful or potent that it costs that much money. That's crazy. It's just crazy. So far, I'm not seeing a whole lot of, yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot of crackle. So anyway, you know, a lot of times you just, I guess when you're a headache sufferer like Shelly and me, you know, you get to the point where you just learn to live with it. You have to. I mean, life has to go on. And you just learn to live with it, but it doesn't make it fun. And every now and then when it gets to be a bad migraine like that, I just have to kind of curl up in the bed and go to sleep and say, I'll come out when I feel better. It just so happened that this really started actually when I was having a tooth problem before we went to the Dominican, and I had to go have the tooth cut out. And I think that's really when it started. And then even though they got the tooth out, I still had pain the whole time we were gone. So I'm convinced now that it was a dry socket. I don't have pain anymore, but I'm convinced I had a dry socket. And that was pretty miserable. So then, you know, you get real tense in your shoulders, and it's hard to ever really relax or anything when you're in pain like that. So I think that's what kind of set this one in motion. And then yesterday I went for a dental appointment. 3 hours and 15 minutes later I left. And the news that I got was not good. Why my husband did not go into dentistry, I do not know. Because I'm telling you, literally, the quote that they gave me for what I need done is in excess of $50,000, and insurance covers nothing. Oh, you know, they have payment plan. You can pay half when you do this part, and, you know, half when you do that part. And she ran all these numbers of all these companies that offer financing and all that. And oh, it is insane what these dentists can charge. And I mean, I know it's a specialty, and I know they go to school to learn how to be a dentist, like doctors go to learn how to be doctors, but, whew, they about had to send me to the emergency room when she started talking numbers. I was like, oh, it's the big one, Elizabeth, it's a big one. Okay, I think this is almost dry, so we can put the wax on it and see what it's going to look like. Hot. Let me let it cool down just a little bit while I take another sip of my drink. So are any of you on here like me and love to get ready for Christmas early, or are y'all all Scrooges? How you like that? Scrooge. I think while we're letting that cool, what I'm going to do is take some of this brown bittersweet chocolate, and we're going to paint this little piece that I want to screw on here. That's too bright and pretty. I don't like that. So we're going to paint it, and then we're going to put cinnamon on it to kind of rust it out. How about that? Wet. A little bit of, let me set it on this napkin. I should have put a little bit of like an orange color. Let me see what this is. Spiced pumpkin. Maybe spiced pumpkin would be good. Put a little bit right there on my plate. And I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm just going to put it on there. There we go. That looks more like rust. Can y'all see? Yeah. And show you. Could still use a little more of the orange. See, that looks more rusty. I'm going to sprinkle ground cinnamon over my trash can. And it'll smell good too. Reminds me of Christmas. Opened up because I'll have to put a screw through that. No, I don't think that's one I have to use actually. Look how rusty that looks. If you like it, rust, I'm going to wipe a little bit of it off so it's not so uniform. Right here, whoops, in the center of little pizzazz. Whoops. Not going to do the other side because there's no need to. This goes up here. Okay. Now let's get our Behr Wax, B-E-H-R, right here. decorative finish in the color Dark Antiques from Home Depot. But it's by Behr. And I'm just going to take this stencil brush, put it in here, and rub a lot of it off on my paper towel. And then I'm going to swirl it. It's too dark, so let's take this paper towel and wipe it back. Let's see if we can see any crackle. And if we do, it's very minor. I don't see much crackle at all. And I thought when I was looking at it in the light it looked crackly, but I don't see a lot of crackle. Let me try the top because I thought I saw some up there too. I don't know which is which on here. May just be that that color underneath was not white enough to show through, or maybe the Deb's DIY is not what I needed to put on it, but there's no crackle showing. So do we call that a mistake or a fail, or just didn't do what we wanted to do? It's still going to be a cool piece. It's just not doing what I want it to do. And in the light, when I turned it a certain direction, I thought I saw some crackle. I don't see any. I don't see any right here, but I still like it. Okay? Now, oops, I shouldn't have thrown that away. I got a big glob right here. I'm going to set this aside. And let's do this with our paint. And we'll see whether or not we can get any crackle to show up just on the painted area instead of covering it with the newsprint. Better chance. Could also be that Awesome that I cleaned it with, I tried to wipe it off real good, but I guess there was a possibility it might have left a little residue on there that kept it from crackling so much. I don't know. I've told y'all before, sometimes I've used this Fine Art, Pentart Fine Crackle, and it does nothing. I've done other projects where it has literally done nothing. And then I've done projects where, a couple of projects where it's been fabulous, like the one I did the other day, and I was like, yay, it actually worked. So I haven't figured out yet just exactly what it is that I'm doing wrong. It may just be the surface material or how I prepare it. I don't know. But I know I have watched Beth with Rekindle Blessings use just glue, and she gets crackle every time. Now, she doesn't usually get, I don't think, the really fine line, which is what I like. So that's why I bought the Fine Line Crackle 2-step. I prefer not having to do 2-step, and with the glue, you don't have to do 2-step. I mean, you still have to put your underneath paint, your paint on top and all that, but it's a whole lot easier, I think, to not have to do the 2-step process by using glue. I just don't like the bigger crackle. And now in trying to get it all painted, everywhere I touch it, it's taking paint off, and my paint's about dried up. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. When I was in school working on my master's degree in education, one of the classes that we had to take was in children's literature. And I always ask Rodney and my mother for Christmas to give me children's books so I could collect them. And I would try to read at least one every night because, truth be known, there are a lot of really good messages for adults in many children's books. There really are. And so, my mother, basically, it was my mother, started me a collection of children's books. Let me get this brown back out. Let's just go over some with brown. And one of them was called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And poor Alexander he gets up every morning and something always goes wrong. Always. His shoes are not the right size, or his socks don't match. And it's just a debacle. You know, just anything that can go wrong is going to go wrong to poor Alexander. And every time he's frowning in these pictures in the book about what's happening to him, after he lets you know what the debacle is, and he says, I'm going to move to Australia. Because for some reason he has it in his little head that if he moves to Australia, he's not going to have any of these problems. I guess his socks will automatically match. His shoes will be the right size. He won't have to go buy new ones with Mom, which he hates doing. And so he'll just go to Australia where everything will be hunky-dory, roses. And so he goes on and on and on. I think I'll just move to Australia. This is not going right. I've got a loose tooth, and now people are going to laugh at me in school because one of my teeth is missing. And oh, it's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I think I'll move to Australia. And then his socks don't match. And, you know, I got up and my socks didn't match, and now everybody at school is going to make fun of me about that. It's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I think I'm going to move to Australia. And Alexander just can't catch a break. And finally, when, you know, it's all said and done, you know, he's told the world about all of his problems and how awful life is. And he's told his mom, you know, he's just going to move to Australia. He just can't take it anymore. His mom tells him that, you know what, even in Australia, people have problems. So poor Alexander got his bubble burst when he found out that Australians even have problems. But it's a cute little book. I loved it. Kind of like Eeyore, you know, in Winnie the Pooh. You know, he was always my favorite character because, you know, if anything was going to happen, it was going to happen to Eeyore. And just don't worry about me. I'll be all right. And I thought, you know, I can just relate to Eeyore. I think he's a man after my own heart. So that was one of my favorite books. Another one was The Giving Tree. If you've never read The Giving Tree, read it and get a copy for your kids or your grandkids. Another one was I'll Love You Forever. I'll Like You for Always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Oh, girl, that one will kill you. If you don't know that book, you need to get that one too. Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs is a favorite children's book of mine. It's been a long time, y'all. I've got a ton of them. And many of them were Caldecott winners when they were written. So I used to try to get you know, all of the Caldecott winners, and keep them in my supply, and then I would read them to my children. I taught special ed, and I read a lot of those stories to my special ed students. Most of them didn't have a lot of books at home. All right, so now what we did was just cover up this wood with some of that plaster Waverly chalk paint mixed with bittersweet chocolate by Deco Art Americana. And we're going to see if we can maybe make the crackle part do better on just the wood. If we can actually see crackle coming through. I'm just going to chalk it up to not letting it totally dry in between, although I thought I was letting it dry with the dryer. So let me put this step 1 on here. I turned the air conditioner off in here because I think it probably makes a weird noise when y'all are watching me live in the RV. When I've watched the lives back, I've heard kind of a weird noise, and all I can figure is that it's the air conditioner. I may have to turn it back on. It's getting hot. So as a child, this is something I'm curious to know. When you were growing up, as a child, did you read a lot? And if so, what was a favorite book of yours? Not love reading when I was growing up as a child. And I think it's because I had to read so much in school, and it wasn't necessarily stuff that I wanted to read. But when I got to college, and I started kind of occasionally reading something I wanted to read, I found out that I loved it and could really get lost in it. So I do love to read now. Appear to have frozen or stopped because I'm not seeing anything since Shelly was talking about the medicine. So I'm going to try to refresh my page, but I don't know that I'm going to, no, it's not giving me anything. Now I don't see comments at all. I think I just swiped them away. Okay, if somebody is still watching, here we go. So clean up. Grandma is let's clean up. Maybe no salt. You say go to Mexico. What? Go to Mexico. American trained dentist, and they are good, about 1/4 of the price or less. I know one of the sisters in the sisterhood did that. And I did think about that. However, Mexico, avid reader, unseen comment. Good. I'm glad y'all, now I'm seeing them, but there's a lot of places in Mexico that are not safe to stay in time. I was watching a show with Rodney the other night. He was watching this car show where these guys go and buy old cars in Mexico and bring them back to the U.S. and fix them up and sell them for lots of money, like, you know, older classic kind of cars. And they were going to Juarez, Mexico, and that is one of the most dangerous places to be this day and time. Rodney's company has dealings there with, or I think they have a company there actually with water heaters. Thousands of people a day die there. I'm not, And it's just over the border, which I think is where some of those people are going to get dental work done. I just can't do it. I'm too scared. Dr. Seuss books when I was little, then I read all the Nancy Drew mysteries. Me too. And my brother's Hardy Boy mysteries, and my mom's book were Bobbsey Twins. I forgot about that until I could start reading my parents' Reader's Digest condensed books, and then anything I could get my hands on. So you're a voracious reader, Candace. That's awesome. My sister, my middle sister, was always a big reader. When my other sister and I were out, you know, socializing and doing other things, I had her hands on a book, and she could speed read through books like nobody's business. She loved reading. Still does, I think. This is sticky. Not sure why. Because that brown I added is not wax. So I'm hoping that this is going to work. Progresso. What? Sherry, I go to Texas every winter, 30 minutes from Progresso, Mexico, and go every year for cleanings and whatever work I need. Totally safe. Okay, Sherry, would you PM me some information, please? Maybe, you may have my phone number, but maybe a link so I can see, you know, who you're talking about. I know I don't know where Progresso is. I've never heard of that, but I know Juarez is not safe at all. At all. And I don't know, you know, with all the work I need done, how long I would even have to be there. Like, you know, then you have accommodations, you have food, you have flight. So then, you know, is it really cheaper in the long run when you do all that? If it was an American dentist, I wouldn't mind as much. I don't think I want a Mexican dentist. Not that they're not good. I'm not saying anything against Mexican dentists. I just don't know Mexican dentists. And sometimes, even some American dentists aren't great. So, I mean, for all the work that I need, you could say we have an extra bedroom. Oh, well, you have an extra bedroom. Where do you don't live in Mexico? Uh-oh. I think I just unplugged my little dryer. Well, y'all. So are you saying, Sherry, that you live close enough that you don't have to go and stay? You just like drive across the border and then come back in the same day? Is that what you're saying? I had no idea. Okay, y'all, let me get out this other brush I used for step 2 and see if it's gonna work. I had no idea, Sherry. I thought I knew you were in Texas, but I didn't know you were that close to the border. I just know Juarez is not safe at all. And I'd rather have terrible teeth than to risk my life, for sure. I wouldn't go without Rodney, that's 1,000% sure. Hey, know how. Our sisters had some work done over there. Did you refer her, Sherry? Maybe I need to get in touch with her and ask her. I think she was over there a little while. I don't think she was like over and back in a day or whatever. Rig had major problems. Mexico, she was here, but I mean she was in the States, but she I go to Donna, Texas, 30 minutes from the border. I go to Donna, Texas, 30 minutes. I thought you said you went to Mexico. Am I just, my head hurting too bad to comprehend? I'm sorry. I'm just not getting it. Because I would think in Texas it would be the same kind of cost, right? Y'all, if this doesn't crackle on the wood, I'm going to give up. I wish it was dark here so I could turn on my fairy garden I made the other day. One granddaughter and I both made fairy gardens. I wish I could see it. It turned out really cute. I took some pictures at night, but it's kind of hard to see. It's got lights on it. Has anybody else had major dental work done where you had to go through a long, expensive process? People who've taken good care of their teeth and never had to have a lot of dental work have no idea how blessed they are, I tell you. I've had bad teeth since I was a little girl. I had braces. That's why I say going to the dentist does not bother me at all, because many times I'll get in a dental chair and fall asleep or almost fall asleep. It just doesn't affect me like it does some people. Some people are scared to death and it just doesn't bother me. In fact, when I had this tooth removed a couple of weeks ago, I asked them to just do it with Novocaine and not use general anesthesia, and they wouldn't do it. And they said, oh no, we only use general anesthesia. I said, well, I don't want that and I don't need it. And I don't want to have to pay for it. Well, that's all we do here. So if you have great teeth and you don't have to worry about going to the dentist a lot, count your blessings. Supposedly people with those, like the full mouth implants don't have to, like, ever go have dental work done. I've been in a dental chair since I was 3. I'm scared of death. Really, Missy? I'm sorry. That's how my best friend is. She has to take medicine before she goes to calm her down because she is just petrified. I'm just not. I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad I'm not, but I just never have been. I'd rather go to the dentist than the doctor. Especially if the doctor's going to give me a shot. And believe it or not, I'd rather have a shot in my mouth than in my arm. I don't like them in the roof of my mouth. I will say that. That part I don't like. But I would rather have a shot in my mouth than in my arm. Is that weird? And I can't stand having an IV in my hand. I always want it up here. The crease of my elbow. Don't put it in my hand. There's not much skin up here. It hurts. But my daughter's just the opposite. My daughter that's a nurse, she said she'll take it in the hand all day, every day. Not me. Isn't that weird how people are just so different? All right, let's put some wax on this and see if it did anything. Wax. Wax on, wax off. Let's see. See crackles in it, but they're not showing up through this paint. Let's do this. Too stuffed now with wax, but I'm gonna put some white. This white paint on it. It's plaster, chalk paint. Then you can see the crackle. I mean, I can always go over it with brown again, right? Or cover it with the old book pages. TV shows lately that you just think are spectacular. Oh, now you can see the cracks. That's what it needed, was this, and then put the antique wax on it. Isn't it, you guys? So one of my friends has been talking a lot about what's that? Below Deck? Is that the name of it? She was all excited about Below Deck. And she's watching it, like, started watching it from the current season to the backwards. And she loves whoever the guy is in there. So, yeah, Below Deck, she said she'd been watching. And somebody mentioned something. I thought it was on a live. Somebody mentioned something a couple of days ago. That they had binge watched. I don't watch a lot of TV, but sometimes I do like to binge watch. I'll show you this up close in just a minute. Definitely cracked. Just needed the white paint to show it. So if I keep wiping it off, running my fingers over it. Some of the paint is actually coming off. Don't see any comments again. Is anybody commenting? Just drop down. What you doing? Well, Pamela, I'm kind of making a mess. I took an old wooden paper towel holder, painted it kind of an off-white, covered it with some old magazine pieces, which I'm going to completely do, but I didn't want to have to keep everybody on live to do that. Haven't watched after season 3. And then I tried to crackle it, and the crackle didn't show up. So then I said, well, let's try to crackle this bar part, even though it's going to be covered up by paper towels. And at first I didn't think it was going to work until I went and put the white paint over the crackles. And now you can see right there? Now we got crackles, girls. So now I think is when I can put the dark wax over it once it's dry and make it really stand out. Kind of like I'm not meaning to do, but I'm doing right now. So we've got some damp paint up here, so let me try to get that all dried real well. Ooh, crackles, yeah. Okay. Now let's go over it with the wax and then wipe it back. Let's see what we have. I wish I could have seen my granddaughter playing spa with me today. I had the other granddaughter come in and take pictures of her. It was so cute. Video. Well, maybe I shouldn't because her mom may not be excited. Okay, now let's wipe this back and see what we have. Try that on the main part. Oh, that made ridges all around it where the white was showing. That's funny. Okay, hold on just a minute. I'll hold it up. This is what I was going for. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So now I wonder if we were to paint over this with white. I don't know, I'm kind of scared. Layer more paper on it, right? Crackle. I don't know. Crackle, period. But if I need to, off camera, I can just go back and layer some more paper. Didn't crackle show up, y'all. It's also covering up the paper. I held it in a certain light. I knew I saw crackle, but it didn't show up on here. Maybe I shouldn't have put... Oh, yeah, because I checked with Mara to ask her if I should put a clear coat on it. She said yes before I crackled it. Definitely showing crackle now, y'all. May not see any more of the old antique paper, but it's definitely showing up crackle. Some of that wax off there. Y'all think of that wax on, wax off? Here we go. We're gonna dry again. This dryer's getting a good workout tonight. But we definitely got some crackle in here. I used Hide glue years ago to crackle. Hide glue? What's Hide glue? Never heard of it. I mean, I think that Beth just uses Elmer's glue. And I don't think she even waters it down. Y'all, I am a hot mess. I can tell my head's hurting because I'm screwing everything up. Oh, this crackle on the bottom is really good now. Oh, and the top too. I think it was made from animal hide. I've never heard of that. Can you still get it? And if so, where? I've never heard of that. That's very interesting. Rodney's supposed to be doing a live sometime comparing all the different kinds of glue that he hears crafters talking about on like which glues work best on which surfaces. Like the Glue Factory Hide Glue. That's really interesting. I'm going to ask Rodney when I talk to him if he's ever heard of it. Oh, y'all, the crackle is really showing up. It's just hiding the paper. Look, before I even put the wax on it. Thank you for those emojis. All right, let's see. I think you do, but I used to do like Kathy D and mix my dark wax with clear wax. I haven't done that in a long time. Most of the time I forget. But did you know that if you do that, the clear wax acts like an eraser. Yeah, see, it's not going to show the paper, and that's what I was trying to do, was crackle the paper. So it's actually covering up all of the paper, but it is crackling. So I think that I really want the old paper to show on this piece, especially since I'm going to make that other piece to match it. So I'll probably just have to go back and layer on here. But at least I know that it did, in fact, crackle. We just had to put the lighter color on top. And it's got texture where I laid the paper down. So see, you can see texture in there. Which would be cool in an old farmhouse, not having the old paper on it. It's just not the look I was going for. But that's okay. You live and you learn. And now you know what not to do if you want the crackle look or if you want just the old paper look. Trying to get that little edge smoothed out. Okay, you guys, I guess I better go check on my grandchildren to see how they're doing and get some dinner made for them. And then I'm going to work on this, but I may come back on tomorrow and do it again with y'all. More paper on there or not? Maybe. Anyway. You all have a great night, and remember that we always end with saying, go out and bless someone, and I hope you are blessed. Thank you, Paris. Thank you for being here, for your support. If you haven't joined my Telegram, it's pinned to the top of my page. That's the best way for me to get in touch with you, to let you know when I'm going live. I'll be doing a drawing again soon for a free giveaway, a free watercolor. And here's one last question that I want y'all to answer as you're signing off. Is watercolor and learning about watercolor something that you are interested in or not? And if you say not, that is 1000% fine. Don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all. But just let me know whether or not that's something you would be interested in. Okay? I will talk to y'all later. I love ya, and I'll see you later. Bye.